Off the miracle win.
A miracle it would be, Lingy, but you never know in this game that we play Aussie rules. But this is just, to me, tonight a great reminder of how good this Port Adelaide team can be. And the premiership race is wide open this year, and they are right in it, Port Adelaide.
Where are you at with this game tonight, Tim?
Well, you can't help but be impressed with Port Adelaide, but I just can't see Hawthorn coming back and winning this game now.
I mean, they'll go to the end, Hawthorn, because they're the champion team. Back-to-back premiers, they will fight it out right to the end, but they're going to have to go too fast to keep scoring, and that is what Port want to do as well. So it would be a miracle, but you never know.
So Port yet to use the sub in Archie, and Hawthorn down to just 2 fit players on the bench, as Lingy pointed out just before. Here's Trengove. Fans are so close to the action here. The fences are just a little lower than they would be at the MCG, and for some reason they seem to be really close, and they love the closeness of it all. A unique arena, and just added to our game significantly, this Adelaide Oval. It's just created a whole new dimension for footy in South Australia and the AFL generally.
Yeah, one of the great things coming into this game tonight, in the lead up to it, Port Adelaide, we're talking about how strong Hawthorn were around the contest and about being bullied and all that sort of stuff. Well, they've just turned it on its ear, haven't they?
They have, and they said that with Wines and Robbie Gray out. They've backed it up. That's why they're a good team.
Just hearing the news that Lingy's he's on most committees involved in footy, and Stratton March just backward of the wings, but he's...
What's he on now?
Tonight he's on the voting committee for the Badco medal, named in honour of Major Peter Badco, VC, the last South Australian to be awarded the military's highest honour for his Vietnam activities and other. And the late Peter Badco, VC, the medal named after, and Lingy is supplying some votes for that, Richo. So here is Burgoyne. Nice little kick, neat kick.
He's a star, isn't he?
He's, well, they call him Silk. Everything he does is silky.
That's fine.
That was unbelievable what he just did then.
Great
Great tackle, just steadying himself.
They really think this through so well, the Hawthorn players. Geelong started it all, I think, but they both do it equally as well. And very cool to kick it around the corner, and he kicks the goal, and the players feel they get a better purchase on their foot with that sort of kick.
Well, the good kicks like Jack Gunston, they're very, very confident now doing that around the corner kick. They train it so much, and he would know where his limit is, how far out in the middle of the ground he needs to be for a drop punt or to go around the corner, and he felt more comfortable that time, Timmy, coming around the corner.
No, we know he's a wonderful player, and he's a very accurate shot for goal. And again, though, beautiful kick there by Bird.
Yeah. You love this, Timmy.
Oh, I love this.
He broke the tackle, and then he just has the poise to steady, and he always lowers his eyes and finds the right target.
And the kick around the corner, Tim, can you understand the
science behind it? Yep.
Connection with the boot on that, and they feel confident with it?
As long as they practice it and they do it over and over again, and they're comfortable on the training track with it, I've got no problem with it at all.
Hit hard, here's Monfries. Hasn't he been a good get from the Bombers? Monfries gives them something they didn't have. West off. Long footy inside 50. Olick almost recovers his own crumb, but in the end Gibson back to get this. They've got Adelaide here in the showdown next week, and it's going to be a pretty interesting contest. And then they play West Coast and Brisbane. That's their next 3 weeks. Here's Cyril. Did that pretty easy. Suckling. Chip kick into Lewis. Bit of space here. They find McAvoy. Can he get down? Can't hold the mark. It was obviously really important too, and just couldn't get it done. Have a look at Mitchell trying to go here. He's got the lead legs going on, big Sammy Mitchell. Hard tongue, and in the end goes and gets it. Sam was hoping it didn't come back to him. Beautiful kick by Lewis to Hodge. Hodge with plenty of time and a clean look downfield. Goes with a high hoisting ball to Roughhead. Roughhead uses the body to good effect, but couldn't hold the mark.
Adelaide been excellent, hasn't he? Those one-on-one contests when Ruffy looks like he's had him beaten. He's just had the body strength, Richo, just to push hard and get an arm in there, or just a body just to offset.
Well, he's hard to move, Adelaide. He's
dense.
Thick through the legs, the thighs, which is hard to move off the footy.
Segler there has just had 2 touches for the entire game.
Don't forget, Ruffy's coming off an unbelievable, nearly career-best game last week. 21 score involvements last week for Ruff, 7 goals, 28 touches, which was a career high, so he's in good form, and Carlisle's had his measure tonight. Oh, Schultz.
Went early. Gibson timed it better.
Gee, for one of the few times tonight there at Port Adelaide when they had that ball, there was no run, there was no movement, there was no spread. I mean, they have worked hard for 3 and a bit quarters. Maybe they haven't got much left in the tank now, Richard.
And the game against North last week, it was as fast a game as you'll ever see for 4 quarters. It just did not stop from one end to the other. So maybe they are just getting a little bit tired.
White, Hodge. Hodge a deep long ball. Hodge was there, did really well. Pittard was there to collect the ground level footy. Now a long kick, but Jaray's going to get underneath this and send it back. Whence it came, nice little kick around, a little bit too heavy for Lewis. Now Cracker sees something down the middle, and that's a poor kick by Cracker. Ray gets back.
Port would want to keep their foot on the accelerator here. They've got a low percentage after having a few losses. They'd want to get that up over 100 as soon as they can.
Ryder, the little backhand flick on, but Jaray for the 3rd time sends it back again without great thought, and Westhoff gets under this. Lingy, I know you're voting on the Peter Badcoe medal, so I don't want to spoil that for anyone, and I don't want you to tell us, but who do you think has, well, okay, who's played well for Port, Lingy?
Who's played well for Port? Right on cue. This bloke's been pretty damn solid, BT. The vice-captain, he's been incredible all night. So's the captain. Gee, it's been a team effort. You can't do the old junior footy thing, can you, and put in the newspaper team effort, because every Port Adelaide bloke has held his head up high, especially that back 6.
That wasn't good enough as a junior. When you looked in, it said team effort, because you knew you were in the best players. You wanted to see your name in the paper.
It's better than when your own dad votes, though, and he votes only for you every week.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
That happens a lot in junior footy. They give the voting slips out, Tim, and you've got him watching little Job run around the 40s, and Tim writes down Job, 3 votes. There's Langford.
You wouldn't have done that, Timmy.
His mother might have.
Of course, Paddy Ryder has featured prominently on Anzac Day. He's won an Anzac Day medal when he was with the Bombers.
A tough angle.
It is for Lewis, and the favoured side for the lefty. We've seen Jay Schultz make it look pretty simple from here. Just a little chipping footy across the face. Always going to be difficult with that left to right swing of the footy for him.
Well, Jay Schultz, 5 straight. He'd have to be in contention for a couple of votes. Maybe not best on ground, but if you kick 5 goals, it's a pretty good effort.
Hawthorn next week, Tim, of North, and they've got a nice run. I mean, North's always tough. GWS are improved, and then Melbourne. So they've got a bit to do. And this guy here, they've really needed him back, Tim, to allow Ryder to get the full reward on Ryder, haven't they?
Absolutely, absolutely. They look far more potent, don't they, in their front half. They've got Lobby in the ruck, and then they've got the 3 tools. Schultz really playing that 3rd tool. He's a really accomplished forward. You've got Westhoff and you've got Paddy Ryder. That's going to stretch any defence.
Big boy.
Just had a text message. Always deserved. That's all it said, the text message. I mentioned my wife before.
So you weren't allowed to do the votes, Tim? Is that what you're saying?
Always deserved. Gee. Here's Lewis. Little one down to Roughhead. Oh, I've received the odd junior voting slip and just managed to occasionally flick a tailor in there. I don't like it, but if I won't do it, no one else will, Richard. An opportunity here. Dad's a bias. They're allowed to be. Langford with a burst and a miss.
Hey guys, just quickly, Port Adelaide have finally made the sub. The second game of Brendan Archie gets to see some action. I'm sure he's been very keen to get out there and join in this great game by Port Adelaide. Jared Pollock's the man who's got the red vest.
We heard from Ian Prendergast, one of the bosses of the Players Association, earlier tonight, Tim, on the pre-game show, and he was talking about the potential abolishment of the sub, the red vest and all of that. And players really want it. They were screaming out for it. Do you think it's going to happen?
Yeah, I think it will. With the capping of the rotations, it's superfluous. So I don't think it's going to happen this year. It'll definitely happen next year.
Yeah, it was brought in, and then they brought the cap into 120, so it should have been abolished then, really. But
and that cap may even come down a little more.
I reckon bring it down to 100 or even 80.
Yep. Found a good happy medium as McAvoy marks on 50, gives it off to Lewis. Lewis able to run with a bit more freedom on his left. Westhoff got back nicely.
He's done that well tonight, Westhoff.
Gee, Roughhead's not happy. And abuse, that's Ray Chamberlain. Roughhead was speaking to Ray Chamberlain in a very unfortunate way there, and didn't agree with the Ray decision. And as we know, Ray doesn't...
Did you hear what he said?
I didn't hear what he said, but he was questioning the decision at why he didn't get a free down there when he was held out of the play and blocked from competing for the mark against Westhoff.
Doesn't miss anything, Razor Ray, though. Does not miss a trick.
All right. White Cross, a great story for Hawthorn fans.
No chance.
They really parked the bus a bit, haven't they, Adelaide, with Westhoff. He's really playing almost as a goalkeeper now.
Yeah, he is, and he's been doing it late in quarters, but he's gone back there now. He's had a good night. He's kicked a couple of goals. Hasn't had a heap of the ball, but he's just been back there controlling that defence this quarter.
Archie to White. Ryder elected to stay on the deck. Little knock to Monfries was clever. Lewis fast hands Gibson. Now they can explode out of the blocks if this kick is good, and it is for Bruce. Needs a clean pick-up. Got that. Sends it on its way. Here's the running Birchall. Got a good left foot. Couple of bounces. Works it to half forward. Thought about the kick. Now he'd be thinking go all the way, but he gives to Hodge. Not 15, said the umpire. And now an opportunity for Billy Hartung. Steps to the plate, Billy, and kicks the goal.
It's been all right, Billy, since he came on early in the game for Brian Lake. It's a running machine. And he's had a good crack at it tonight. He's on a lot earlier than he would have expected to be. But there is a nice goal and a little bit of reward for him.
I want to tell you something, boys. There is 11 minutes left in this game, and they are 27 points down. They haven't been this close since about the 15-minute mark of the first quarter, Richo.
Back on, you reckon?
27 points, Richo.
Oh, you've put some batteries in, Brian.
No.
Here you go.
This is real. Hartlett, here they come, Richo.
Oh, righto.
Off the back, Duray. Lewis doing a lot of damage out on that wing half-forward line. He's got Bruce over the top. He can run and straighten. Hartlett corrals. Roughhead leads. Long ball. Segler. Ryder. Offhand. Burgoyne. Bang.
Wow.
Now the ball in the hands of Billy Hartung. Mitchell just caught. A little bit slow. Oh, Ray. It come off the boot. That come off the boot, Ray.
Yeah, that's the wrong decision because it hit his foot, so he disposed of it.
That, you're quite right, Richo. We need say no more. We'll get an opportunity to have a look at it. But as Mitchell argued, he made contact with the boot.
Unless he drop-kicked it. No, he kicked it, so that's not holding the ball.
Maybe he thought it came off the knee, but I thought it came perhaps between knee and ankle. So Hawthorn on the march here, and they've snuck up. It's like they're in the woods, Tim, and they've snuck up one tree at a time, hiding behind it, and all of a sudden they're there.
Hawthorn.
Mitchell. Sniggling by Richardson and Watson, and Ling is unbelievable here at the moment. But have a look at this. Isaac's going to line up to make it 21 points.
They still think they can win. They're with you, Brian. They actually do believe they can win.
Yep.
And they have stopped Port Adelaide. I talked about it early in this quarter, how they just didn't have that same run. They didn't have that same spread. It's taken a lot out of them to get to this point in the game.
Tim.
But have Hawthorn got enough left in the tank?
21 points if successful. Smith steps in and misses left.
And Westhoff went back really early, which he hadn't been doing in those first few quarters. So that was a sign, Timmy, of what you're talking about.
I have no doubt that this team can get up from here. And it is only a 26-point margin, 9.5 minutes. They're running all the play at the moment. They've got it all working their way. That's a throw from Isaac Smith. And Ray missed that one. People at home think we're silly, think I'm silly. And I'm just saying what I see.
I'm sensing what you're saying, though, in the way the Hawthorn players' body language is right now.
The last shot of Alistair Clarkson said to me that they were a chance. He thinks they really are. The players think they are. The only ones that don't are you two guys.
No, I didn't say that, but it's 15 inside 50s to 2. And what often happens here is when you get that domination.
Come on, Richo, you've never been a stats man, and now you're...
No, I'm saying that they're more than likely will go down and kick a goal with one inside 50 here, Port Adelaide.
Archie, Hartlett, and they have done that a few times tonight. Suckling.
Spread here.
Now look at the spread, Tim. Out they go. White cross to Hill. Hill streaming down the ground. Poor kick. Gave Homps an opportunity. Now at ground level, Pittard's got a better couple. Rioli lurking. They kept it alive. No, over the line, out of bounds. So time ticks down to 8:39.
They need a goal from this clearance, Hawthorn, if they're going to win, Brian.
Let's see what they can conjure up. Port, I think, have just all of a sudden are understanding the situation as well collectively as a team. That they've been a little bit off in this last few minutes. Burgoyne able to get rid of 1 and 2 tackles. Now a kick deep. Roughhead caught behind, but he's got Westhoff in the tackle, and the ball was pinned.
So that's what they have to do. They've got to navigate Westhoff when they go forward here. They can't just kick the ball indiscriminately into their forward line. They've got to lower their eyes and hit some targets moving to them.
Gunston will have another ball up inside 50 for Hawthorn.
And Luke Hodge standing off the contest here. He's just waving his arms, telling everybody to clear out, get some space. Don't just leave numbers in there. It's too crowded. They're not going to get a clear possession. They need a few of the Hawthorn players now just to try and walk their Port Adelaide opponents away, create a bit of a pocket of
which
space.
They are doing there, Lingy. You can see Bruce and Rioli doing that.
And let one of their teammates come through.
So the chant goes up for Port, trying to encourage their team on in the last few moments. They've spent so much energy getting to where they are.
Now this is for the third man up. Somebody's just got to try and jump in over the top of McAvoy here. Smashed the ball. Isaac Smith almost got there.
Yeah, he was lining it up, Tim. Good call. Wingard, Corns, Lewis, Wingard again. Not clean here at the moment. Langford, handball, Hodge, stepped around one, muscled his way through. Hill with the foot candy. Now the right foot snap.
Yes.
Hawthorn have got it. They're back within 20. Back within 20 with 7.5 minutes remaining on the clock, and it can be done.
That's a brilliant call, Brian. And they do believe that they can win this game. And at the moment, they're the only side out there running and spreading. We haven't seen this for most of the game, but every time they've been able to get ball across half back, they're just bursting into the open spaces and they're creating. And even though Port Adelaide got the extra player behind the ball, they've been able to navigate that player.
They have kicked the last 3 goals. They have kicked 6 of the last 7 goals, and they trail by 20. The clock is hurting them a bit at 7.5 minutes.
Well, Port have dropped the loose man now. Westhoff's up on the wing. It's man on man all over the ground.
Big clearance. It's got to be near on perfection from here for the Hawks.
Perfection for the Hawks and 1 goal for Port Adelaide.
Yep, exactly. Boak, and that is a real fine balancing act. But here goes Mitchell, can kick it either foot. Little left foot poker. Burgoyne wanted to go, couldn't get a run at it. Great mark. Ella Paddy Carlisle. Sensational stuff.
But they're all flat-footed, Port. They've got no run at all.
There's no spread. There has been no spread from them this last quarter.
Out of legs. How do they look on the bench, Lingy?
They are certainly out of legs. There is no doubt about that. They wanted to slow it down and just control this game. Hawthorn full of run and running over the top. You mentioned that Westhoff started on the wing. He's still pushing behind.
Oh, here they go. Isaac Smith has a big kick. He didn't get all of that.
Well, that's a better result than a point.
Yep.
Well, they scored their last goal from a stoppage with Hill, so what can they conjure up here? How can they open this up? All Port Adelaide players are in their half now, so there's not a lot of space to operate in right now.
Gee, boundary umpire didn't get all of it either. Segler did well to rough head, fast hands looking for Langford. Alapati Carlisle thought about the kick and then he thought, no, I don't want to infringe, so he went at it as he should have and was careful.
Well, Brad Hill got on the move at that stoppage. There's Cyril Rioli.
Cheers, Benny.
He's on the bench, so Hill's the man.
They need him, Richo.
They need to get him on for these situations.
Absolutely they do. I'm not sure if there's a reason why he's not. Langford now, but him lurking through the traffic down there. He's probably the best navigator in the team of traffic. Now Alapati Carlisle, but they're just all of a sudden just kicking it out of there, Tim, without much thought of Hawthorn have done for most of the night. Hodges kick is wide, Suckling's got to go. He did. Ball knocked to ground. Gunston tries to draw, sold it nicely. Little right foot kick, he misses out of bounds. No, one behind.
Jordan Lewis has had 11 touches already in this last quarter. He's been a last quarter specialist in the first 4 weeks of the AFL season. Been an enormous contributor. He's up to 34 now. 10 of those are contested.
Well, they've done really well, Port. They've run 2 or 3 minutes off the clock here, and as each second ticks by, a lot harder for the Hawks here now, and a lot more likely that Port are going to continue their work. And great tackle by White on Gunston.
See, got Sean Burgoyne is isolated in the goal square.
Gee, Rioli looks pretty fresh sitting there. Lewis out the back. Hodge now to kick the ball long and deep. Getting underneath, this is Segler, not paid the mark.
If they can kick a goal here, Hawthorn, it might be a brilliant tactical move. They're thinking Cyril Rioli, just hold him back.
Look at Monkhurst. See Monkhurst in the back row then pointing at Cyril saying, what about him? What about him? Boundary throw in. Gee, I would have liked to have seen him on the ground for the last 3 or 4 minutes. They've had it in the zone where he operates, inside 50. Carlisle, underground ball to Young. Smith did well to apply pressure and force the out of bounds on the full.
Just going to try and open up this forward line as much as they can. It's difficult because so many Port players are now in their defensive 50.
Yeah, you're going to need a massive contested mark here now. Big boys there.
Driving ball. They come. Who can get elevation over the top? It comes. An opportunity here for Burgoyne. Ebert did really well, busting his way through there. Now Stratton, the backman, gave a little handball. Clever tap. Bruce, goal kicker. Over the head of Segler and Trengove.
Inside 50s this last quarter alone, 23-2.
Gee.
That's a massive gap.
Gee, it's hard though, because you look down there now and there's 32 players inside the 50. So to get a clean clearance here, Timmy, is perfect football.
It's almost impossible. It's almost impossible.
I think Rioli must be injured or extremely tired.
Oh, it's out.
For Bruce to run into the open goal, he gets it. Back to a 13-point ball game with enough time, 5 minutes.
But here he comes. Cyril's up.
Well, I think Lingy might have been right. They might have been looking at the clock thinking, OK, we'll bring him on for another 5 minutes. He's got 5 minutes left in him. And amazingly, they were able to work the ball again from all that congestion from that stoppage. Just a great bit of desperation there. But I think it was Langford again around that stoppage. Just excellent play from him.
Just forced it forward.
They are back in business here, the Hawks. Enormous pressure now on Port Adelaide. 13-point margin. They've come from 58 points down here.
Hawthorn have got a spare man in their forward line. They've got a loose player if they can win this clearance.
And they didn't win it. Wingard does. Long footy here. Opportunity for Young. Stratton was held out of it. Westhoff did really well.
So Hawthorn had 7 forwards then, and that left them with 1 defender down, and it's been taken advantage of.
Clearance, big clearance by Wingard in the absence of Robbie Gray, and good shepherd there by Westhoff, disguised nicely.
Huge kick this.
This is a whopping kick. Young, difficult angle, right behind it, won't be a goal. And it will be out of bounds on the full, so 4 1/4 minutes.
Got to generate a fast ball here.
Sort of locks them in this side, though. It's probably not a bad result for Port Adelaide.
Suckling's gone left, now comes back right. Is there anything out that side of the ground? They have to go for all or nothing here. Nursing their way through. Got it in the hands of all of the good kickers. Birchall wasn't sure whether to go. He elects to go long to Bruce. That is a fantastic kick. Bruce takes the mark. The build-up by the Hawks is good. 3 minutes 50 remaining. 13 points to the middle. Got the overlap runner and Suckling. Left footer. Won't be able to balance. Lobe, big-time tackle.
They're out.
Well done. Pittard now to Monfries. Monfries to Wingard. Wingard blasted away when he probably shouldn't have. And this will allow Birchall to get back and collect the footy and do it all over again for the Hawks.
Nothing on here for him, though.
Almost caught. Well, he was caught in the tackle, but he still managed to get the footy away. And Stratton will win the free.
Hawthorn players were so tired then, they actually couldn't push up the ground to provide any sort of a lead. They're out again, though.
They are, this time on the fat side, bit more space out this side. Hard-tongue to Isaac Smith. Isaac Smith wants to get back on the left, and he does. He is indeed. The kick needed to be good. Gunson's going to get this. Give it on to Duray. Left footer on his right. That's why it wasn't so good. Dribbler could go over. Oh, a goal! It's a goal! It's a goal! They're back within 7 points with 3 minutes remaining on the clock. Ken Hinkley, boy, unbelievable stuff. They've come from 58 points down.
Well, Brian, I'm going to hand it to you. I mean, you weren't prepared to concede at any stage in this second half. I don't know whether you actually believed it deep down in your heart.
I did.
It was going to happen, but we talked about it many times. Don't write a champion off. And they are a champion team. And right now, 2 minutes 42 on the clock, 7 points the difference. Richo, what are you seeing out there?
Well, they've got 2 numbers back. Port Adelaide. Westhoff's on his way down there.
Close as they've been.
Even up those numbers, do you think Hawthorn should be sending forwards there too?
Yeah, they've got to even up. We need one-on-ones in 50.
Closest they've been since the 7-minute mark of the first quarter. They are within single figures at 7 points here. They have kicked 5 consecutive goals in the last quarter. Now White to spoil the party from the boundary line. 8 points. Doesn't really matter about the point. They're going to have to score twice anyway.
Port Adelaide, they just need to keep their composure now too. They need to maintain possession of the ball. They've got those extra numbers behind.
If they get 1 mark or 1 free, Tim, they can milk the game.
Yeah, they want to take as much time off the clock as they possibly can. They don't need to force the issue.
The
they have to play it enough speed.
The build-up, hard-tongue with the legs. He was the sub tonight, and that's clear. The kick out wide, looking for Bruce to gain. A diving attempt by Westhoff.
It's easy to say from up here, but G. Segler had run hard off Lobe and was in the corridor, but he wasn't spotted, and he had to go out wide.
Big stoppage this at the Hawthorn end. Time ticking down to 2 minutes now. Langford went straight at it, did Archie. Well done, the sub for Port. High ball there, couldn't get it Hodge. Suckling handball, little one inside. It was Mitchell trying to get it out. Schultz is in there, so is Young. Ball cracked out. Now Hawthorn will get possession, or will it get to the boundary?
Massive result, that. Because Birchall, if he had gained possession there, he had players free.
Look at Hinkley saying, come on, push up, push up, push up. Get out of Hawthorn's forward end. Lobe, poor boundary throw in by the umpire. Didn't give the ruckman an opportunity. Hard-tongue, who's been prominent. High ball inside 50. Up they fly. A lot of Port players. Homsch has gone that way. Needs to get rid of it. Alapati Carlisle been good all night. This is going to go straight to Isaac Smith. He's a big kick. Needs to be careful. Goes long. Gives them a chance. Alapati Carlisle off the chest. And it'll go over the line and out of bounds.
It looks like he dropped a chest mark, but that was impossible. Minute 13 to go. Goal from this stoppage.
They've got to get 2 goals, though, Hawthorn, and it's becoming increasingly difficult now.
1 mark or 1 free kick Port's way, and it's all over now. It'll be all over because they'll control the footy, but it's going to go Hawthorn for the moment. Suckling wanted to get on the end of it. Now Mitchell, he's a really good user. Dangerous with footy in hand. Left foot around the corner. Riders there. Over the top they go. Here comes Burgoyne. Westhoff had to commit, and he did in a big way. I reckon they might have collided is there. Umpire pays the free to RG, but the kick is not good. We're down to 41 seconds. Mitchell keeps it alive. Unbelievable stuff. Hawthorn, if they got one last opportunity, I think Port have done enough.
They're home now.
They've done enough.
How brave have Hawthorn been, though?
It's been an unbelievable last quarter. Look at that. That's how desperate this game is in the final minute.
Mitchell's just come off with an ankle as well. 30 seconds, and you'd think Port have done enough here now. Isaac Smith to Lewis. Boy, white cross from 50. He hammers it long. Westhoff's got to get back, and he does.
Yeah, he's the loose man, and he's saying, that's it. That's it. I'm going to milk the time here.
Kicks wide. Boundary line. She's all over. Port were up by 58 points at the 13-minute mark of the second quarter. And they've had that trimmed back by 50 to an 8-point margin here. Hawthorn impressive last quarter. Don't forget, Port sensational early in their game, and their fans rise. Huge win for Port Adelaide over the reigning premiers.